What is something about yourself that sounds totally made up but is 100% real? I am one of very few people outside World War I to live through mustard gas. So rare the doctors in 1995, no internet, had no idea how to treat me. How? Pure child stupidity. I grew up in a sparsely populated High Sierra community with lots of empty vacation homes. One of these homes was under construction about a block. There were no blocks in reality, just long windy roads cutting through the forest, and the construction crew would just leave the half-finished house open between shifts because no one lives here anyway. Me, a retard. Me and a friend decided to stumble into the home and duck around with random stuff. I saw a large vat used for mixing liquids, and poured an entire bucket of industrial cleaning liquid into it. I went and got another large bucket full of chemicals. Don't mix random industrial chemicals, children, and dumped that in there too. Huge yellow gas explosion in my face. I got about 15 feet away before collapsing and beginning to retch yellow goo and vomit everywhere. No breathing now, just gasping and vomiting goop. My friend ran to get my mom. She called an ambulance. They put me in a helicopter and sent me to UC Davis Medical Center. My doctor eventually made contact with someone who knew how to treat my case through the internet. I had never heard of it. 2 weeks in the ICU. I almost died, and my lungs are still ducking trash. I'm 34 now. I got ran over by a car, but the driver didn't see me and proceeded to back over me. Is he dead? No. Throws it in reverse. I have had a headache since August 2015 and I will probably have it for the rest of my life. It's only on half my head, so I got that going for me, which is nice. I've had one on both sides for over 20 years. Completely unresponsive to everything a neurologist can throw at it. When my mom was in grad school, she took several labs where she worked with cadavers. Because my dad worked nights, she often had to take me to class with her, and she'd usually just plonk me down on the table with the cadaver while she worked on it. Can I go to work with you? Over my dead body. I won 2 TV game shows. The $10,000 Pyramid won $10,300 in 1975, and Sale of the Century. I was on the show for 9 days. Won $34,000 in cash and prizes in 1985. Nice. I haven't won anything in my life. I cannot see 3D effects in movies or games. I didn't know that until a friend showed me his new Nintendo 3DS, and I asked him whether this thing was a scam because it didn't look any different to me than a normal DS. We had a fight over this because we both thought the other one was bullshitting him. You're holding it wrong. How the duck do you not see this? Are you ducking kidding me right now? There's nothing 3D about this thing. I've been stabbed 8 times. Please tell me that has nothing to do with your username. Kids, am I right? I had my tongue surgically enhanced for more reach and flexibility when I was 8. Edit. I'm super jazzed by how many of us are out there. Interesting. I've never met anyone that has had their tongue clipped. Had mine done as a toddler and I guess they sort of overshot the mark because I ended up with a Gene Simmons style. When I was a kid, I woke up to find my cat giving birth to her kittens on my pillow, 1 inch from my face. I took it as a compliment. It totally is. That's like the Cat Congressional Medal of Honor. Right? If a cat closes its eyes around you, it means it trusts you, but if it duck in births kittens inches from your face, you must be like family. I've literally never been sick, or at least never showed symptoms of being sick. No colds, no fevers, no viruses, no flu even. I really don't know what it's like to be sick or get sick, and frankly, I hope I never do. It'd sure be ironic if the first time I got sick was now. I'm 30 years old, by the way. That was probably worth mentioning. You sound like my family. Some people just have better immune systems. I've been sick, but not often and not for long. We all got mental disorders though, so it's a give and take. The disorders probably gave up on your physical bodies after a while and turned on your brains. I was born 12 weeks early and was nearly born earlier. My mom had a weak uterus from endo, so they had to push me back and stitch her up. The doctors told my parents to expect me to be unable to breathe, walk, etc. on my own. The doctor performing the C-section nearly dropped in surprise at how hard I was screaming and flailing. I do have a few health problems, but it could have been much worse. My great-great-grandfather was a Pinkerton detective, acted on vaudeville, and had 5 wives in 2 different states that knew nothing of each other. He also slightly changed his last name each time and never got caught until the Ancestry website happened lol. Sounds a bit like my great-grandfather. He had a wife in France, and then 2 in the US and neighboring counties. He was caught though. My great-grandmother was wife number 2. She found out about wife number 3 and divorced him. No one knew about the first wife in France until I pulled his service records from World War I. I was shooting some stuff in my village and a bullet ricocheted and hit me in the torso. I was afraid my parents would kill me if they found out. I was young, so I used a knife and tweezers to remove the fragment and a stapler to stitch it up and then covered the wound, and they never found out until a few years later when I told them. I can smell some illnesses and chronic symptoms. My sense of smell is normally pretty average, but I can sometimes smell if a person is sick before they start showing symptoms, and have been able to identify and predict 2 seizures, a diabetic blood sugar drop, and multiple chronic migraines before they happened. Are you a service dog? My ex and I were having a huge argument in a hotel parking lot. My friend and ex's dad were there as witnesses. 2 big buses pulled up and Justin Bieber got off one of them with a security guard and walked right past us. I was crying and my ex was yelling at me and Justin said, and I quote, "Hey, stop that." My ex yelled back at him, "White PPL shouldn't have dreads," and Justin just got onto the other bus with his guard. My friend was cracking up saying, "Was that Justin Bieber?" And sure enough, some people in his entourage or whatever were staying at that hotel and he was in town that night for a concert. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Subscribe for more awesome audio content brought to you by Tales from Reddit.